Back to math. Okay, 4.4, we're working on parabolas in descriptive form.
They're going to wonder what we were talking about.
Parabolas in descriptive form. Okay, a parabola in descriptive form is an equation that looks like y equals a times x minus h squared plus k. Y equals a times x minus h squared plus k. That is what the general form of a parabola in descriptive form is going to look like. Okay? Your instructions today are going to ask you to graph. And in your graph, I want you to label vertex and line of symmetry. So in your graph, label vertex and line of symmetry. So if, for example, number 1, I give you the equation x minus h. Y equals x plus 1 squared. So quantity squared means close your parentheses and put a square. X plus 1 quantity squared minus 2. X plus 1 quantity squared minus 2. Now, does anyone remember how to learn how to graph lines? You first were given points, right? You were given points and then you connect the dots. We're going to do the same thing today, okay? But in order to figure out which points are on this graph, you're going to have to come up with them. So what we're going to do is make what's called a table of values. Okay, so, sorry. I'm going to give you some x values, and we are going to plug those into the equation, and that is going to give us the y values. Okay, so we're going to make, this is an xy table, or a table of values. Okay, you're going to be plugging things in, and for the x values, I would like you to plug in -3, -2, -1, 0, and 1. So we're going to plug in all these values and we're going to find the points that are on the parabola. So, let's start plugging in. So -3 plus 1 squared minus 2. So -3 plus 1 gives you -2. -2 squared is 4. 4 minus 2 is 2. So that gives us our first point. So let's put our first point. So over 3, so left 3, up 2. So my first point is at -3, +2. Now let's find my next point. -2 plus 1 squared minus 2. So if you plug in -2 plus 1 gives us -1. -1 squared is +1. 1 minus 2, -1. So my next point is -2, comma, -1. So left 2, down 1. Now let's plug in -1. -1 plus 1 gives us 0. 0 squared is still 0. Minus 2 is -2. So that means go left 1, down 2. Keep plugging in. Plug in 0. 0 plus 1 squared is 1. Minus 2 is -1. So over 0, down 1. And finally, I'm going to have you plug in 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 squared is 4. 4 minus 2 is +2. So over right 1, up 2. Now, if you connect the dots, what kind of a shape is this? A parabola. That is a parabola. So once you connect your dots, you should be able to label the vertex and figure out where is the line of symmetry. So what is your vertex in this parabola? Remember, vertex is the tip. Okay. What is that? That is -1, -2. Now remember, your line of symmetry, that's your fold line, goes straight through the middle of your vertex. So if this goes down the middle, What is my line of symmetry? X equals -1. So the line of symmetry is x equals -1. That's our answers there. Okay, so we have to be able to graph, find the line of symmetry, and the vertex. Okay, let's try another one. Number 2, same thing. Graph, label line of symmetry, and vertex. Number 2, if I give you y equals, in parentheses, x minus 4 squared plus 1. Y equals x minus 4 squared plus 1. Now, same thing. We're going to make a table of values. We always start with x. Then you put your formula, so x minus 4 squared plus 1. And then we're going to put y, because we're going to find y. I will give you the things that we're going to plug in. Okay? So the x coordinates I want you to plug in are 6, 5, 4, 3, and 2. So I want you to start filling that out. Okay, so start plugging in, and we're going to find y values. Start plugging in, and we will find y values. This is a lot of work. Okay, to start with, 6 minus 4 gives us 2. 2 squared is 4, plus 1 gives us 5. So my first point is over 6, up 5. I gave you these x numbers, right? I'm giving you those, and I'm plugging them into the equation for x.
So all you're supposed to do is just put
We're plugging them in, and then we're finding y. Okay, y equals whatever we plug in. So now let's try 5 minus 4. 5 minus 4 is 1. 1 squared is 1. Plus 1 is 2. So my next point is 5 over 5 up 2. Yes, you could plug in any numbers. However, I'm giving you numbers that are going to make a nice parabola shape. You just pick any random numbers, you might get like the right side of a parabola. You might not get the whole thing. So I'm giving you these numbers. Let's just go with this. I'm giving you the numbers. 4 minus 4, 0. 0 squared is 0, plus 1 is 1. So my next point is over 4, up 1.
Wait, how'd you get the 5?
These numbers?
No, up there. No, on y?
6 minus 4 is 2. 2 squared is 4. 4 plus 1 is 5.
Okay, so you...
I worked it out. Okay. Next one, if I plug in 3, I should get a 2. If I plug in 2, I should get a 5. Why don't we just go with me on this one? Okay, and over 2, up 5. Again, what kind of shape am I making? A parabola. What is the vertex of this parabola? The low point is at 4, 1. And what is the line of symmetry for this parabola? Line of symmetry is at x equals 4. Now, let's go back and let's look at these. Okay, I want you to look at these in particular and look at the line of symmetry and the vertex numbers in relation to the equations. Okay, look at the equations. Look at the numbers in the equations, and then look at the line of symmetry and look at the vertex. Yes, sir. Do we notice something?
Yeah, the ascend and descend, like when you look halfway through things.
Okay, they're symmetric. Okay, so you're saying that they're symmetrical. But I want you to look at the actual number values. Look at this. Your line of symmetry is -1. Well, it's kind of like this. Your vertex is -1, -2. Do we see these numbers in the equations? Kind of, right?
Yes.
How about for the second one? Do we see these numbers in the original equation? Yes. okay? There is a correlation between those numbers and the equation that they came from, okay? So the values that we're finding can come just straight from this. We don't always have to make these tables, okay? We made the tables right now to show you how annoying it is and to hopefully make you remember that there's some correlation, okay? So remember, in any descriptive form parabola, it's y equals a times x minus h squared plus k. Okay, so we're starting with that. Yes, ma'am.
So how did you get the vertex?
I'm gonna get them right now. Gonna get it. Oh, how did I know this was the vertex? Because this is the tip. That's the end point. It's the middle. Okay? So, your line of symmetry can come from changing what's in the parentheses. So if you change and take the opposite sign of what's in your parentheses, that gives you your line of symmetry. Our line of symmetry is always going to be x equals h. Okay, write this down. We'll put in numbers here in just a minute, and it'll hopefully become a little more clear. My vertex comes from changing the sign that was in the parentheses, keeping the sign that is outside of the parentheses. So your vertex will be h, comma, k. Okay, so if I look back at my other equations here, okay, look back at your other equations. And my line of symmetry is exactly opposite of what's in the parentheses, right? Positive 1, line of symmetry is negative 1. If I change and keep at the end, I get my vertex, right? Change the sign, keep the sign. Same thing here. Change the sign, keep the sign, and you will get your vertex. It is a trick, okay? It's a shortcut. So let's look at number 3. Okay, for example, number 3, I want to, again, find line of symmetry and find the vertex and sketch. Okay, if I give you the equation, y equals x minus 6 squared plus 8. Y equals x minus 6 squared plus 8. Now, I just told you that line of symmetry is x equals the opposite of what's inside the parentheses. So your x equals, your line of symmetry will be what? At x equals positive 6. Then your vertex come from changing the sign, keeping the sign. Okay, so my vertex will be what? Positive 6, positive 8. Now, I can make my sketch, okay? Line of symmetry is at x equals 6, so make an x equals line, label it, and we don't have to put all the little dash marks. Then my vertex is at 6, 8. I'm just gonna say that's 6, 8. If you label it, then it's fine. You don't have to put the little dash marks. Now, do I know what direction this is going? Is it going up or down? How do I know it's going up? Because it's positive. Okay, this a value up here is a positive what? Positive 1. Okay, we never have to put plus 1, but you know it's there. Okay, we know it's positive. It's just like if someone asks you, what's your age? If you say 16, you don't have to say positive 16. We just know it. Okay, so this is positive, so that means it is opening up. That's your answer. Okay, doesn't have to be perfect. I don't need to know what the x-intercepts are, what the y-intercepts are. In fact, does this even have x-intercepts? There are no x-intercepts. Okay? There are no x-intercepts. There would be a y-intercept eventually because this will get wide enough to cross, but I don't want to know what it is. It doesn't matter.